when you are more concerned about your optimization level than being a beacon of inspiration. Not much would concern you about emotions. Or would it? Well, in our video today, we look at a typical INTP-A personality type Bill Gates and why it is difficult to get him emotional. INTP stands for Introverted, Intuitive, Thinking, and Perceiving. They are usually described as analytical, quiet, and tend to value intellect over emotion. Typical INTPs enjoy spending their time alone, thinking about how things work and approach problems in a very logical manner, validating their objectives and beliefs on information received rather than their subjective feeling. Looking closely at their cognitive functions, INTPs firstly have a dominant introverted thinking. Just as that implies, they are introverts who like to spend time on their own, focusing on how things work and trying to break them down into less complicated ideas. INTPs like to be on their own most of the time. Their introverted nature does not permit too much socialization. They also possess what is known as an auxiliary extroverted function. Here, they explore all the possibilities of a problem presented to them, analyzing what they know against all possible solutions. Then again, we have the tertiary introverted sensing, where all the many facts they gather during their time alone are carefully categorized. INTPs are generally detail-oriented and barely miss even the littlest facts. And of course, we have the inferior extroverted feeling where even though they might not appear to socialize much, INTPs have an incredible ability to be super close and outgoing towards people whom they are familiar and comfortable with. At 24 years old, Bill Gates was already the richest man in the world. The American businessman, software developer, investor, author, and philanthropist is the co-founder of Microsoft and chairman of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Despite stepping down as CEOs and chairman of Microsoft in 2014, Bill Gates undoubtedly is one of the most successful and wealthiest men on the globe. From interviews and general observation, experts have identified him as an assertive logician, INTP-A's personality type. Looking at the characteristics of a typical INTP personality trait, why then do we think it could be very difficult to get Bill Gates in an emotional state? In a documentary titled Inside Bill's Brain, Decoding Bill Gates, he said that his early years were spent reading, thinking, and pondering in his bedroom. Just like we had indicated earlier for typical INTPs, this is not a strange characteristic. He has week-long think weeks where he goes off to an isolated cabin, and there he spends all his time reading and organizing information he finds relevant. The information they gather, which in turn makes them one of the smartest people, is a major reason why they rarely react emotionally to circumstances. How? We'll discuss that shortly, but in the meanwhile, what characteristic trait for an INTP do you think this falls under? Tell us in the comments section down below. Bill Gates has said, if you show people problems and you show them the solutions, they will be moved to act. He is one to be relentless in finding out the solution to a given problem. Some time back, the rate at which men, women, and children died from waterborne diseases was very high. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation sought to develop a clean plumbing system that could operate without electricity, water, or a sewer system. While people said that it was next to impossible, Gates never gave up and was willing to ask investors to step up and reinvent the toilet. Today, this is said to have contributed to the decline in mortality as a result of waterborne diseases. Something that had never existed had become an answer to one of the world's most challenging problems as a result of the persistence of Bill Gates. Bill Gates places so much premium on intelligence that he has indicated that his biggest fear is for his brain to stop working. During an interview, Inside Bill's Brain, he says his goal is not necessarily to be inspiring, it is optimization. The level of ingenuity he possesses makes him very competitive as well, almost to the point where it can come off as an obsession. He has described his leadership skill as an assertive one, indicating that he naturally feels in charge even from a young age. This natural feeling makes him very optimistic, as well because of the belief that he can handle things that come his way. Having an innate assurance of being able to handle all circumstances is probably the reason why they are more self-sufficient and confident. They are not driven by the opinions and perceptions of others. Coming up soon is how this trait makes it difficult to get an emotional INTP. One reason why it will be difficult to get an emotional Bill Gates is because he is an assertive logician. As compared to the turbulent logician, these people are more likely to be satisfied with their life. Turbulent logicians and assertive logicians are very similar. However, there can be some significant differences. Research suggests that 73% of assertive logicians are comfortable in their own skins, as compared to 42% of turbulent logicians. If you are comfortable with who you are and where you are, it can be difficult to get unnecessarily emotional. Assertive logicians are also not driven by people's opinions and perceptions. That is why, taking Bill Gates as an example, it will be hard to dissuade him from a course of action he plans on taking. As a result of this, also, they hardly hold a grudge. If you're dealing with an assertive logician, you are less likely to get into emotional brawls. Please tell us what you think about INTPs in the comments section down below. We'll come your way another time. Until then, enjoy the rest of your time.